Yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of the Bible Study. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Lois, and this is a platform where we talk all about God, everything God. We talk about how He loves you. We talk about how to follow Him as a servant or even not as a servant. If you want to give your life to God, this is a place where you can do that. So today we're going to be talking about Isaiah chapter 36. Now, if you have not read this or if you want to really understand it, I suggest that you actually go and read it yourself and then come back to this video. Or if you just want to listen and then go back and read it yourself, that's also fine. So basically, there are two kings. One king's name was Sennacherib and the other was King Hezekiah. Now, let me give you a plot on both of the kings. Sennacherib was a king who was full of himself and not of the Spirit of the Lord. He was very prideful. He had a lot of pride. He thought he used his own strength for everything. And he came to Hezekiah's palace to threaten Hezekiah on God, basically. He came to threaten Hezekiah and tell him that your God is nothing, your God is not higher than me, blah, 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 blah. So now let's look at King Hezekiah. This is a person who we want to be as Christians. This is a person that we want to strive to be as Christians. Now, King Hezekiah was full of the Lord. King Hezekiah went to God for everything. And you will see this in my part 2 when I talk about it. King Hezekiah basically would wait upon the Lord. He would tarry in the Lord and make sure that this is what the Lord wants me to do. And he would listen to his plans. King Hezekiah was nothing like King Sennacherib, okay? So let's go into the revelation part. So revelation number 1. There are people in this world who think they do not need God for anything, and they do not believe in Him. They think they use their own strength for everything like Sennacherib. So let me explain to you why I'm saying this. Like I said, King Sennacherib was a king full of pride. He captured the cities around Judah and he captured the people and he made them slaves, right? So basically, as he's going through these cities, he thinks he's greater than everybody. He thinks he's greater than all the kings in these cities because he had captured their people and he did not need the strength of God. So King Sennacherib told King Hezekiah's servants that if you're depending on kings to save you like Pharaoh, that is fine. But if you're depending on the Lord of our God, that is basically a problem, because I will pillage you and I will make your people my people. So basically he's making fun of God, saying that even Pharaoh is higher than God, which we should never do that. We should never have pride over God. We should always humble ourselves in the sight of the Lord, because if you do not humble yourself, He will humble you. And that is the worst place. That is the worst punishment that you ever want to get from God, for Him to humble you as a person. So you always have to be a humble servant to God. You always have to make sure that God comes before you in everything that you do, like King Hezekiah does, okay? So revelation number 2. If God has not told you anything, do not use your mouth to say, the Lord has told me this or that. Now I'm saying this because in the passage, King Sennacherib's servants were saying things like, the Lord Himself told me to march against this country and destroy it, when God had not really given them that vision or that message. Because once again, like I was saying before, these people, King Sennacherib's people, are not from God. They do not have the Spirit of God. So how can God tell you that go against this country and go destroy it? Basically, they were lying against themselves and they're lying against God, because God never told them this. Don't ever think that you can open your mouth and say these things about these people, or like use God's name in vain, because that is a great sin. Do not ever say that, guys. Just if you know that God has not told you anything, do not go and open your mouth and be like, God told me this, God told me that. Yes, He told me this and that, this and this and that. Like, don't do that, guys. Don't do that. That is not a good idea. So the third revelation that I have